Hi there. My name is K.A. Holt, Carrie Ann Holt, and I am the author of a lot of middle grade books for kids. I am going to start reading a few chapters every day or every other day, I'm not sure, of my book House Arrest. Here it is, because we're all kind of on team house arrest right now, aren't we? I'm recording it in my car, in the carport, because I have 3 kids at home and my wife is in there working, and it's very noisy and it's an open floor plan. So the only quiet place I have right now while we are under house arrest is in my car. So I am going to read the first few weeks of this book to get us started today. And I just kind of want to jump right in. I don't really want to tell you a lot about it if you don't know a lot about it, so that you can follow along as we go. I will tell you that it's written in free verse, which looks like this. It's poetry. Poetry that doesn't always rhyme, but sometimes does. The line breaks are there on purpose. I didn't just break up sentences to make it look like this. This is a way for me to control the rhythm. It's a way for me to control the mood. It's a way for me to help my readers understand how the character is feeling by just the way that his thoughts move quickly or slowly, or what gets emphasized, what gets repeated, that sort of thing. This book is written in journal form, so that's what I meant when I said I would be reading a few weeks today. This is a week. It goes all the way through 52 weeks of Timothy's life. And okay, so I'm just going to start reading. All right, House Arrest by me. And it's dedicated to my son, my sweet Icosaurus, who is 11 now and is inside playing Just Cause 3. Okay, winter. Week 1. Boys don't write in journals unless it's court ordered. At least that's what I figured. I have nothing to say. I am not allowed to have nothing to say except on Tuesdays when I go see Mrs. Bainbridge, who calls me Tim instead of Timothy. I sit on her squishy couch, my mouth sealed shut, my eyes burning holes in the leaves of all her plants. She says I can call her Maureen, but who would want to be called Maureen? Adjudicated delinquent. I had to look up how to spell that 3 times. I don't feel like a delinquent, and I don't know what adjudicated means, even after looking it up. Sounds like a kung fu move. I adjudicated you in your face! Hi-ya! A whole year of this journal? Maybe I will write about the other people I see, like Jose, just being Jose. I will pretend his life is mine, like I can still go hang out in our street whenever I want. Magnolia Circle, where I've always lived, with the manhole cover that makes a perfect third base. Week 2. How do you let yourself become a probation officer? Is there a school for that? A diploma? Congrats, James. You have graduated and are now a complete tool. James recommends not writing any more things like that last thing. Otherwise, the judge will get mad. Who knew my probation officer could read my journal? I would like it on record that that isn't fair. Do you hear me, James? Do you hear me, Mrs. Bainbridge? Do you hear me, Judge? A personal journal is very crowded with so many eyes. James on Monday, Mrs. Bainbridge on Tuesday, school every day, home every day, nowhere else unless Mom is with me. That's the schedule journal. Got it? It's pretty simple, like a court-ordered cage with a mom-shaped lock. You better take this journal seriously, James told me Monday, or they'll throw you in juvie so fast your head will spin. As if my head isn't already spinning. On that day weeks ago, I'd lost my head. Everything foggy and frosty, everything a dwarf name from a fairy tale that doesn't exist. I remember I was so tired. So tired. Levi had been sick in the night before. One of those nights with no nurse at home to help. Mom had her hands full, and I did too. Levi was bad sick, so I helped, running for towels, for meds, for the heavy oxygen tanks, for the suction machine, for the spare trach tubes, for the ties to keep the tube in his neck so he could breathe, which he wasn't doing very well that night before the morning when my head was full of fairy tale dwarves named Foggy and Frosty and Sleepy and Crazy. I will never know what I was thinking when I stole that wallet, because I wasn't thinking. I wish everyone would stop asking. There is no what when there is no thinking. There is just ising. Things happen. Things happened just like that. Snap. It is what it is. It was what it was. So stop asking. I was trying to help. That's all. But it was the opposite of help. And I know that now. I'm not sorry, though. If you're wondering, I'm just sorry I got caught. Because it would have helped. It would have. Week 3. James says I should take that last part out. You better be sorry, he says, when he throws this journal into my chest, looking mad and disappointed. A look they must give tests on at Probation Officer University. This is not a joke, Timothy. They'll throw you in juvie so fast your head will spin. I mouth the words when he says them. He doesn't like that. But he needs new words. He won't like it that I wrote that either. Oh well. Hey, James. Suck it. When Levi was born, my dad was still here. 9 months ago. Feels like 9 years. Dad's heart was beating in the same room as mine, his lungs filled with the same air as mine, his stomach filled with the same pizza as mine. We had pepperoni that night when Levi was born. We high-fived our root beers. Dad told the waitress, I have 2 boys now. How about that? And she gave us ice cream for free. And it was the best night until it wasn't anymore. Then the phone rang in the pitch-dark night, and Jose's mom answered because I was at their house. Dad was at the hospital with Mom and Levi. Jose's mom came to wake me up, but I was already awake. And she drove me to the hospital, and she told me Levi was sick, and the doctors didn't know what it was, and it was bad, real bad, and they wanted me there in case he died so I could say goodbye. And none of it made any sense because Levi was a brand new baby, and nothing happens to brand new babies because they are new and haven't hurt anyone yet. And Dad still had pizza in his stomach, and so did I, from earlier that night when everything was okay. P.S. Levi did not die. Not any time they told us he would, and there were a lot of times. James, Mrs. B, I know you're reading, so listen up. I'm thinking you guys don't know anything about anything. No offense. But if you're going to understand what I'm talking about in this dumb journal, I'm going to need to explain some things to your dumb faces. No offense. There are just so many things you have to understand before you can really understand. Understand? So I can tell you about that day, that stealing day, but you're never going to know what was going on in my head. Because I don't know what was going on in my head. All I do know is what was going on in my life. Lesson 1. Trach. You say it like T-R-A-K-E, trach, in case you didn't know. It's a plastic tube in Levi's neck. Well, a hole in Levi's neck. A hole the doctor put there so Levi can breathe. The tube protects the hole, but it lets in a lot of germs, like a superhighway to his lungs. So that's no good. But breathing is good. Kind of a lame trade-off, if you ask me. I guess the trach is like a plastic nostril in Levi's neck. It has all the gross stuff that nostrils have. Slippery boogers and slime and gunk. And when he sneezes, these snot bullets shoot out. So yeah, it's a plastic nostril in your neck. But it doesn't look like a nostril. Just a tube. It saved Levi's life. And changed everyone else's. Sometimes I wonder what it's like to breathe through your neck instead of your face. How does food taste if you can't smell it? Do your sinuses still hurt when you're sick? Does it tickle when you cough out of the tube? Does it feel weird when you swallow? It must, because Levi chokes a lot. When he chokes, we use the suction machine, and it is so loud, like a jackhammer drinking a Slurpee. It sucks all of the gunk out of the tube in his neck so Levi can breathe easy again. He always looks so relieved. I wonder how that feels. Jose came over today. He called me a felon and laughed his head off. He wanted me to come with him. Cam's paintball party. My answer, what part of house arrest don't you understand, dummy? I told him I was getting a tracking device on my ankle, and if I leave the house, it'll blow my whole leg off. Even messier than paintball. He believed me, so I laughed my head off. Okay, I think we're going to stop for today. And we will pick up with week 4 next time. Okay. Also, I guess if you want to talk about the book at all, or if you have questions, maybe we can do something like hashtag team house arrest. And you can ask me questions on Twitter, or your teachers can, and then I can answer some questions at the beginning of each of the weeks we read some of the weeks in the book. Does that sound cool? Okay, well, my Twitter is just Carrie Ann Holt, and I will leave it up to you to find me or to let your teachers find me. And okay, I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.